What if I told you that just 10 small changes could completely transform your life? Not in some magical, get-rich-quick way, but in a real, lasting way that makes you proud of who you've become. Imagine looking in the mirror 6 months from now and feeling happy with the person you've grown into. There was a time when I felt stuck in life. Not failing, but not winning either. Just stuck. I'd wake up, scroll through my phone, eat, work, get tired, complain, sleep, and repeat. I wasn't truly living. I was just going through the motions. But one day, something inside me snapped. Maybe it was from feeling drained, or maybe it was that quiet voice inside me saying, "You're meant for more than this." That voice turned into a decision. I didn't change everything at once. I didn't move away or quit my job or find some magical secret. I just made small changes, little choices that built up over time. Those choices became habits, and those habits completely changed my life. At number 10, waking up a little earlier than I had to. Just 30 minutes. It wasn't easy. I loved sleeping in. But those extra quiet minutes in the morning gave me something I hadn't had before: control. Before the emails, before the texts, before the world's noise, I had space. Space to breathe, to think, to stretch, to plan. My mornings stopped being rushed. I wasn't running against the clock anymore. I was in charge of my time. It didn't turn me into a superhero, but it made me calmer, more focused, and more intentional. That half hour in the morning changed my entire day. And changing my days changed my life. At number 9, writing down my goals. Not vague ideas like be successful or get fit, but clear, specific goals. Things like read 1 book this month or exercise 3 times a week. Writing them down made me feel like I had a plan. And having a plan gave me confidence. It helped me stop feeling lost and start feeling focused. Each goal I crossed off, no matter how small, made me believe in myself a little more. Writing down my goals turned dreams into real plans, and those plans turned into progress. At number 8, learning to say no. I didn't realize how often I was saying yes to things that drained me just to please others. I said yes to things I didn't want to do. I took on tasks I didn't have the energy for. I spread myself too thin, trying to be everything for everyone. And honestly, I was running on empty. Saying no wasn't easy at first. I felt guilty. But every time I did it, politely, honestly, calmly, I felt stronger. I realized protecting my time and energy wasn't selfish. It was necessary. Saying no gave me the freedom to say yes to the things that really mattered. At number 7, reading every day, even just for 10 minutes. I started replacing some of the time I used to waste scrolling on my phone with reading. Books that inspired me, taught me, challenged me. Self-help books, biographies, and stories that opened my mind. At first it seemed like a small change, but over time those 10 minutes added up. They fed my mind and gave me new perspectives. I wasn't just gaining knowledge, I was growing. And not just in what I knew, but in how I thought. Reading gave me new ideas, new tools, and new dreams. At number 6, practicing gratitude. It sounds a bit cliché, right? But let me tell you something. I used to focus so much on what I didn't have, on what wasn't working, that I couldn't see the good things in my life. One day, I decided to write down just 3 things I was grateful for. It could be something small, like my morning coffee, a friend checking in on me, or simply having a roof over my head. And something surprising happened. My perspective changed. I stopped seeing life as something happening to me and started seeing it as something happening for me. Gratitude didn't erase my problems, but it gave me peace in the middle of them, and that made all the difference. At number 5, getting moving every day. I'm not talking about hours at the gym or running marathons. I mean simple things like a 20-minute walk, stretching, or doing a short workout video. I stopped seeing exercise as something I had to do and started seeing it as something that made me feel better. When I moved my body, I felt lighter. My energy went up, my sleep improved, and my confidence grew. I didn't do it to look a certain way. I did it because it made me feel alive. That small daily habit of moving my body became a must-do, and it gave me strength not just physically, but emotionally. At number 4, cutting down on social media. It had become an addiction without me even noticing. I'd check my phone first thing in the morning, last thing at night, and constantly in between. I compared my life to others' highlight reels. I wasted time scrolling and felt disconnected from real life. So, I made a simple rule. No phone the first hour after waking up, and no social media an hour before bed. I even started leaving my phone in another room when I worked. Slowly, I got my attention back. My thoughts became clearer. My focus returned. I felt more present and more connected to my real life, not just the online world. At number 3, embracing silence. At first, silence was uncomfortable. It felt awkward, like something was missing. But what I realized is that silence is where you hear your own voice. When I gave myself 5 minutes of quiet every day, no music, no phones, just silence, I started to hear myself, my fears, my dreams, my truth. It was like cleaning a fogged-up mirror. Silence became my sanctuary. It was where I could ask myself the hard questions and actually hear the answers. In a world that's always loud, silence became my superpower. At number 2, choosing to be around people who lift me up. For a long time, I stuck with people who drained me. Friends who complained, who didn't believe in growth, who kept negativity around. I stayed because it felt comfortable. But comfort can hold you back. The day I started surrounding myself with people who inspired me, who were kind, who believed in growth and shared dreams, everything changed. Their energy rubbed off on me. Their mindset pushed me. Their support helped me grow in ways I didn't expect. You don't just grow because of what you do. You grow because of the people you're around. At number 1, doing one uncomfortable thing every day. Just one. It could be sending an email I was avoiding, starting a new project, speaking up in a meeting, or even just showing up when I was nervous. Every day, I asked myself, what would I do today if I wasn't afraid? And then I did it anyway. Slowly, fear stopped being something that stopped me and started becoming a sign that I was growing. I didn't become fearless, but I learned to do things even when I was scared. And with each step I took, my confidence grew. So, there it is. 10 habits, 10 changes, 10 little choices made every day. They didn't require a perfect plan or special talent, just effort, patience, and the belief that I was worth the effort. I'm not saying I have it all figured out. I don't. I'm still learning, still making mistakes, and still starting over sometimes. But I can honestly say I'm not who I used to be. I've built a version of myself that I'm proud of. And it started with habits. Not luck, not motivation, not magic. Just small, consistent choices. You might be asking, can these habits really change my life too? The answer is yes, but only if you start. You don't have to do everything all at once. You don't have to be perfect. Just start with one habit. Wake up 10 minutes earlier. Write down one goal. Say no to one thing that drains you. Pick up one book. Notice one thing you're grateful for. Go for a 10-minute walk. Silence your phone for an hour. Sit in quiet for a few minutes. Reach out to someone who lifts you up. Do one brave thing today. You don't need to change everything. You just need to start. Because at the end of the day, the life you want, the peace, the growth, the success, is built in the small, daily choices. The habits that no one sees, but that shape everything. You're not stuck. You're not too late. You're not broken. You're just one decision away from momentum. One habit away from change. One brave choice away from becoming the person you know you can be. So, ask yourself, which habit will you start today? If this message resonated with you, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who could use a little motivation, and hit subscribe. We're creating a community here, a place for growth, purpose, and people just like you. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. And your next step starts now.